Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about the Bladesingers, one of my favorite units in the Wood Elf roster. They have two melee stances, one is AP, the other is non-AP with a higher damage. They have very high melee stats, magic damage in melee, and they run very fast. They're also immune to psychology and very high leadership of 80. They have many weaknesses, 15 armor, weak to magic damage because they have physical resistance and magic damage just bypass that. They are weak to missiles because they have no missile resistance apart from, 15 armor and 20 physical resistance. And they just have the spread formation that helps a little. They also are pretty expensive, 1200. That's very expensive, yeah. It's the price of the Way Watchers. And no Vanguard deployment, sadly. For the Wood Elves, it's a problem. Like when you like to do full Vanguard, it's kind of a bummer to have your War Dancers and Bladesingers stuck in the back. So in game, what it means, it's a high threat unit, obviously. Very dangerous to any kind of infantry. They are pretty amazing at killing chaff with the high damage non-AP. They just clean them super fast. And they can just switch to AP to deal with any unit that is above 70 armor. Just remember that. If you do the math, it's actually more, it should be 80. But I did some extensive testing and it just seemed that above 70, you want to use the AP. So if you fight infantry or whatever with a 75 armor, you want the AP stance. And under that, you go for the non-AP. Obviously, it's a main threat for your enemy, and he's gonna want to kill them. And the two best ways to do it is with either archers, artillery, or with wind spells, or any kind of spell that will do a lot of damage to them. The thing is, the Bladesingers can use their high speed of 46 to avoid those damage. Like, you don't have to, run straight forward to your enemy and just take damage to the face. You can always try to do some stuff and avoid those. So the magic damage they have and the high damage just make them big threats, but not just to infantry. It's also a big threat to stuff like skinwolves. Skinwolves, they have low armor and physical resistance. And when the Bladesingers just come with the magic damage and high damage, it's pretty nasty. So yeah, against stuff like that, against ethereals, against not just infantry. Do not be afraid to throw them into some cav, like high armor cav. You can just come with your AP damage and straight up charge them. Yeah, you can do that. You might still take a lot of damage in return. So yeah, you still want to melt infantry. That's your most important task. And now I'm going to show you what some examples in actual games. Alright, so let's see against Tomb Kings. Here I pop the non-AP damage for the Bladesingers. And you see with their 30 charge bonus how fast they're gonna melt the skeletons. Just compare the damage to the Dryads, who did the same at the right moment. You will see the difference in damage is pretty crazy. And Bladesingers are just twice the price of a Dryad, but they'd kill the same targets 3 times faster. Yeah, the skeletons are already crumbled. For your deployment, I suggest you always keep your elite infantry in the back first, and you assess what your enemy has, what are the threats and everything. In this case, it's vampire counts, so there is no threat of potential artillery. Still, it's better to have your very important units in the back first to avoid those first engagements that usually cause a lot of damage, and you want your cheap infantry in the front. So here the melee already started, and I'm throwing my Bladesingers into Vlad first with the AP damage stance. And the Bladesingers are just gonna really put a lot of damage on Vlad. It's gonna take a lot of time, but do not be afraid to go for the enemy lord with your Bladesingers. They will deal a lot of damage. And yes, you can buff your Bladesingers with various spells. Like you need to heal them very often with the Earthbloods and Shield of Thorn. And you see, I switched. I went for the skeletons and the zombies, and I switched to the non-AP. So they could just destroy them way faster. Because here, all of my targets are very low armor. If I want to go back and kill the White Kings of Vlad, I will switch back to the AP damage. Here you see, I'm going for Vlad again. And the Bladesingers switched. So in this particular matchup, the Bladesingers are pretty amazing. They clean shafts super fast, they kill the Grave Guards, and they can even go for the Lord. So yeah, here they were MVP. They dealt more damage than the Cav, they dealt more damage than the Waywatchers. Yeah, pretty useful. So here, once again, Bladesingers in the back. I'm going against Coast. And this is a matchup that is pretty bad for the Bladesingers because they are very likely to just get shot to death and just will kill one zombie of 300 value. So yeah, I see that as a bad matchup. And if they can kill Banshees or the Sirens, I mean, suddenly it's going to be very good for them. But you also have Dryads to do that. They are cheaper, they have magic damage, and they will counter the Sirens. This Coast army had no good targets for the Bladesingers. And you will see they will get shut down pretty hard. So here the Bladesingers went behind his back, didn't get shot once, and they are going for the non-AP damage, obviously, to just melt the zombies super fast. The problem is that Coast, they still have bombers and necrophags and stuff like that. So when you bring your 1200 infantry, it's not gonna end very well for them. Like here, you would think, oh, the Bladesingers are in a good spot. But no, this one is getting stuck, and maybe he should have run back. This one is stuck in the middle of zombies and crabs, and it's just getting destroyed by one bomber unit. You can see the necrophags are just destroying them really hard. And here, absolutely disgusting melee magic damage from Noctilus. His free spell just destroyed a 1200 gold unit. So you see the Bladesingers just got destroyed by one spell, necrophag shots and bombs. And they will probably just have 300 gold value. So here, once again, against Vampire Counts, I switched my Eternal Guards who are going to get attacked by Skeleton Warriors with my Bladesingers with a high damage stance, and they just destroy the skeletons. The problem here is I did not really pay attention, and the White Kings still have the Scab's Grass. So yeah, that was one Scab's Grass, and the Bladesingers are almost dead. Here I supported my Bladesingers with a Flesh to Stone, who is one of the best spells to help them. They go from 15 armor to 75, which makes a lot crazy difference. In this particular battle, they will be fighting zombies all game, and because they have no graveguards to fight, and they were already in the super bad shape because of the early Scabscraft. The thing is, the Bladesingers have such good stats that zombies will just not hurt them. So you can see, even if they were super low health from the start, they killed 3 units of zombies. So yeah, 3 units of zombies and skeletons. They had a lot. Yeah, a lot of kills, but almost no value. Here, against Lizard Man, I'm taking 2 Bladesingers, again, in the back, just to avoid getting shot and being in a bad spot from the start. The best targets are the Saurus, and obviously the Skinks. And you can just use your non-AP stance here, because the Saurus only have 60 armor and the Skinks even lower. But if you have to fight some dinos or temple guards, you will have to use the AP mode. In this matchup, it's not rare to see the Bioslan with the Burning Head, so you will have to be very careful to not get Burning Headed to death. Here, I help them with a Wizened Wildform, which is a crazy bump in damage, and even help their armor. Here you can see the 2 Bladesingers are just cleaning the enemy infantry between Saurus and Chameleon Stalkers. And I have my Beastcaster that keeps helping my Bladesingers with the different spells. Here I use the Pen Impenetrable Pelt to help their melee defense and physical resistance. And you can just cycle between that and the Wizard Wildform. And in grind like this, the Bladesingers just shine like crazy, especially if you buff them. You would also think that you can Psycho Charge with them, but it's actually not the best thing to do, especially not when you want to 1v1 something. Even though they have a crazy charge, when you charge something and want to Psycho Charge with infantry, you will take more damage by running back than just staying in melee. But it's possible to Psycho Charge. If you charge with your Bladesingers, get something else in melee, go back with your Bladesingers, and then charge again. As for the matchup, I think they have a lot of very good ones where they can shine fighting and getting good value on infantry or even on some monsters. For the average ones, they are rated like this because there's a good chance that they are not going to see the melee against anything worth it. They are likely to just get shot to death by like Wood Elves or just rolled over by Giants, Tomb Kings, or Beastmen would just kill them with the magic explosions and not give them any good targets. As for the bad ones like Skaven, Coast, and Bretonia, again, it's even worse. You are very likely to not fight any good infantry and not get any value and just get shut down by missiles or magic. You might also think that Dawi is not a good matchup because they all have magic resistance, but Bladesingers are actually the best infantry there. The problem is that Bladesingers are very expensive and that the Dawi just tend to spam missiles here. So you will have to be very careful and very active with your Bladesingers to avoid those missiles. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Bladesingers. It's a unit I really enjoy playing, and really great looking, and yeah, they have cool animations and stuff, you know, just war dancer stuff. It's quite an interesting one that can really enable cool tactics and give something Wood Elves didn't have before, which is the power to just melt infantry incredibly fast with your own infantry, and even beating the most elite infantry in the game. Like they can go toe to toe with Stone Masters, and they will still lose to the Chosen Sword and Shield, but yeah, still very impressive unit, quite versatile, and if you support them the right way, they will really be able to carry many games. So yeah, really impressive unit, and I hope it will help you guys to play them a bit better and enjoy them. All right, see you in the next one, and have a good one, guys.